I think you made a good distinction right there.
Yeah, that's a distinction.
If people can't figure that one out.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Geez.
And I'll tell you, you'll be the first to agree with me, and that is the brilliant CUNY professor from Kingsborough Community College, who's now a star. This guy's on Brian Kilmeade's show on Fox News every day. Jesse Waters. I mean, Jeff Lax, you have become, and to your credit, you're excellent, you become a legitimate rock star, brother.
I mean, I'm on the Talkers 13 radio show, Sid. You don't get bigger than that. Come on.
You sent me a nice message when I did end up number 13. You talked about how the only show not syndicated, which is true. Sean Hannity, 700 markets. Mark Levin, 300 markets. Sid Rosenberg, 1. And number 13. I got your message. Thank you for that. But on a serious note, this Khalil goes to Capitol Hill. And all these horrible Democrats, I mean, Bernie Sanders and the squad, they welcomed him home like he was a hero, like a war hero. It was grotesque to watch. And this mayoral candidate, Mamdani, walks up and down the streets with this guy, is in cars with this guy taking selfies like he's a real hero. What am I missing that Mahmoud Khalil has reached heroic status in this country?
Yeah, they're making him a living martyr. And what he did going to Capitol Hill, like you said, meeting with 7 lunatic squad Democrats. By the way, very interesting that AOC was not one of them. I wonder what that's about. But it is.
Well, I'll tell you what that's about, because don't forget that just a couple of weeks ago when my friend Marjorie Taylor Greene, when I say my friend, I stopped talking to MTG, which hurts me because I used to like her, but she's really exposed herself, too, as no better than Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens, when she decided to take that money away from Israel in their attempt to, to add more money for the military fight. AOC actually went against MTG. In essence, on that one vote, she was pro-Israel.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Remember, you and I actually had a conversation a bunch of months ago when I was telling you all the bad signs about Tucker, and you're like, I hadn't heard about that. I'm going to look into it. And I was just as heartbroken as you because I love the show. And, it hurt me the same way that you're saying MTG hurt you, and I felt the same way. But what I was going to say was what Khalil and those politicians did was particularly egregious, excuse me, because it's a direct violation of the INA, the Immigration and Nationality Act. Because what Marco Rubio has been saying, and the reason why they want to take away this guy's green card, and it absolutely should be pulled away right away, is that if you are expressing adverse foreign policy consequences to the U.S., you are not entitled to a green card. So when you go to Capitol Hill, one day before Witkoff is flying overseas to meet with representatives for Hamas and Israel. I mean, I hate saying those two things in the same sentence, but it's a reality. To get hostages released and to get a ceasefire, that is adverse interest to U.S. foreign policy. Absolutely. So his green card should be gone today, in my opinion.
But it's going to be difficult because of the judges. You just made a very good argument. Rubio makes that argument. President Trump knows all that. First of all, he lied on his application to begin with. So when you combine the two, Jeff Lax, he lied on the application. And like you're talking about, there's enough information there to revoke the green card. What it goes to show you is that these judges hate Trump so much. They hate him so much, they'll make a terrorist into a hero, the judges.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. I'm one of those people who I got to admit, Sid, I know they hate Trump. I don't disagree with you, but I think they would hate in the same way and do all the same things to anyone on that side of the aisle who is able to beat them the way Trump is. If somehow Ted Cruz was president, you think they wouldn't do the same crap to him? They would. They absolutely would.
I used to have this argument with Bernard, and the answer is you're both wrong. They wouldn't. I mean, and if they did. The reason why it's so ugly with Trump, and this is why Trump is the best ever, is because when you punch Trump across the face, he's going to hit you with 3 more. So, they would try all that with these other guys, and these other guys would fight back. But because Trump fights back and is so vicious and so good at it, it would not feel nearly the same with Cruz or Rubio or DeSantis as it does with our friend Donald Trump. Sorry.
Yeah, it could be, but that's why he wins. I mean, listen, they called George Bush a war criminal. You know, they called all these guys until they lost. They were racists who ran for president. You know, I mean, listen, I don't know. I just think if you're a winner on the other side, they hate you even more. I think that's why you're hated, because you're a winner, because you're let me tell you something today. You're going to love this. I came to you with the goods today, okay? I think you are partially responsible for this. I just saw a new poll that came out of New York City Jews. Historic numbers. I mean, historic, earth-shattering numbers. 57% of New York Jews have a favorable opinion of Donald Trump. You're going to tell me that's not a huge part to your radio show?
Wow.
No way.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And
I think it's true.
Thank you. And the president recognizes that, obviously, appointing me to his Holocaust Memorial Museum Council, which was one of the real highlights in my life. And I'm on that council. I've had my orientation. I filled out all the paperwork. I'm looking forward to meeting the rest of the 55 folks on that council. And my dear friend Siggy Flicker is there, too, and Tila Falik. So thank you so much for saying that, Jeff. I don't know exactly what my significance is, but I do fight. I do fight every day. But like I said yesterday on Twitter, too, I said, look, some of my real Jewish friends, they think I took a step back. And I said, listen, here's the truth, okay? If you listen to me long enough, I've never been a one-issue guy. What do I mean by that? Okay. I don't like Richie Torres. I don't like him. And guess what? He's as pro-Israel as we are. But I don't like him because you got to be pro-Israel and you got to be pro-America. And at every turn, Richie Torres takes shots at Donald Trump. So I'm not just a one-issue guy. I'm about Trump. And I'll tell you something else. Hulk Hogan dies. We're going to talk about it. My son has a basketball game. We're going to talk about it. The Democrats and the media stuck on this dead pervert. We're going to talk about it. I'm not a one-issue guy. So while you're giving me all this credit for being one of the voices that affects Jewish opinion every day, I am not like these influencers. And all they do is talk about this because, as I told a very, very powerful Jewish man a couple of days ago, Jeff, I believe that it becomes too much. It becomes too noisy, and people stop listening. And I think it's in the best interest of some of our really good Jewish friends to step back and save the artillery for an actual war day. What do you think about that?
I agree with you, but I will say this, okay? During the worst period for Jews in the history of my life, it has been the last 2 years. And so sometimes when things come to a real head and you are one of the very few who speak the loudest about it, that is what matters, because you know what it affects? It impacts people having enough fortitude to then say, you know what? I can speak out about this too. You don't always have to be the one doing it, and you can take a step back, and you can cover as many issues as you want. And I always told you from the beginning, Sid, even when you were doing sports, I don't know if you remember this. I remember it. I sent you an email about 10 years ago saying, Sid, you would be awesome on all topics. I wish you'd discuss everything.
I remember.
I might be one of the first people that was like pushing for that.
I still have it.
I don't remember. But you know what? Look, I was right.
Yeah,
okay?
you were right. Well, thank you. You were right. And I still have that, it was actually a direct message, a DM you sent me, and I still have it. And there's a lot going on. But and again, you know, the anti-Semitism, though, plays a role in so many stories, right? So now the mayor's race, Mamdani's winning. Anti-Semitism is a big deal. I know it's also about socialism and business and John Catsimatidis and supermarkets and all that, real estate. I get all that. But anti-Semitism is a major part of the reason why people hate this guy like I do. And I mentioned the squad earlier, okay? AOC and Talib and Omar and all these horrible people. Well, guess who's a member of that squad? Jamal Bowman. Last I checked, I believe my friend Mike Lawler just beat Jamal Bowman. And I'm like, this is great. I believe Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush went away at about the same time. But here's the bad news. Jamal Bowman may be back. Jeff Lax, you tell him why.
I mean, listen, he's a good friend of Mamdani's. There have been tons of rumors, and the Post had a story about this about a month ago, that Mamdani is going to make him the next schools chancellor.
Oh, my God.
And if that happens, we're finished. You're going to have Jews fleeing. They won't want their kids in these schools. You won't have any more Jewish teachers. I want to point out that the UFT, the Union for New York City School Teachers, they are very closely affiliated with the NEA. The NEA, what did they just do a couple weeks ago? They cut ties with the ADL, right? Disgusting.
Yep.
And so that's what's going to happen. He's going to support. And by the way, Jamal Bowman is a guy who denied that Jewish women were raped on October 7th, a Me Too guy who denies they were raped, and he calls Israel genocidal. We know what kind of guy he is. So Mamdani is going to destroy everything about the city, everything we stand for, and everything we're about, and it's going to be the worst for the Jewish people.
So what do you want to see? Curtis is going to be on me at 8:30 this morning. He was on 3 times with me this week. He was on 5 days a week with me for the better part of 3 years. Nobody's been better to Curtis than me. Nobody. But I had a sit-down lunch with Andrew Cuomo on Wednesday. He said some things I liked, some things I didn't. I'm set to meet with Mayor Adams when I get back from Greece Monday, August the 4th at Gracie Mansion. I'm very disappointed in him. I think he really screwed over the Jewish people. I don't care what he's done the last 3 months since the parade. I think for 18 months, he really screwed us over. But I'll meet with all these guys, hear what they have to say, but I'm clearly a Curtis guy. Where is Jeff Lax today?
I hate this question because I love Curtis Sliwa. I love him. I really do. I mean, when I would used to see him at the Israeli Day Parade, I would always hug him. I don't know if he wants hugs or not, but I would hug him. I love him. I really do. I love him. I think he's been a great friend to the Jews for his entire life. We know he's given his own flesh and blood to the city, literally, right? So, I mean, I love the guy. I want him. If you ask me who I would vote for, it will be him. But Sid, what I think about this. The reality is the math. And now I'm hearing Walden ads on your guys' network. Maybe I shouldn't bring that up. I'll never be on again. But there's 5 people in the race, and it doesn't work.
I know, but Jeff, and you're my favorite of all the people. I keep hearing it doesn't work. You have no math, zero to back that up. In fact, most people like you, the Jewish people, are on Adams. Adams has been polling far and away the worst. He's getting clobbered by Curtis. He's down 8 points.
No, I agree.
Okay, so then what you're telling me is you love Curtis, but you don't think he's going to win. Adams is going to come in last. I hate to break it to you folks, all you guys that love Adams, he's going to come in last. So what you're saying then is you got to vote for Andrew Cuomo. That's your only hope.
I've looked at a ton of polls. I've actually followed this very closely since the primary. And very consistently, Sliwa is between 11 and 16%. Adams' range is a little bit more, 10 to 16%. I agree he's going to end up very low. Cuomo, for some reason, is 26, 27%.
Yeah.
And Mamdani is right around 36%.
Right. Cuomo has been consistently in every poll, despite losing in the primary. The guy in second place, and if you go by the poll numbers, he's got the best chance to win. So you're telling me that you're a Cuomo. I don't care. You're a Cuomo guy.
No, I'm not a Cuomo guy. I really am not. I am whatever defeats communism. That's it.
I'm good with that, too. Listen, I'm the same way.
I've given up on going with my favorite candidate. I really listen, I don't like the other 3 guys at all. And I love Curtis.
Then you got to stop right there. Then you're doing everybody a disservice. And again, I'll say I love you because a lot of people. You
I don't think he has any chance.
If you think that way, that self-defeatist attitude, then he's not going to have a chance. And when you say that, and Lizzie Savetsky says that, and Abe Hamra says that, and all these people say that, why doesn't he have a chance? Imagine if you said, you know what, I'm going to vote for Curtis because he has a chance. Instead, a lot of you guys are going to Adams. Adams is behind Curtis. And he's going to come in fourth. Trust me, Eric Adams is coming in fourth. So instead of saying he doesn't have a chance, how about, he can win, let's all vote for him. If you really want him to fix the city, otherwise, just say, Cuomo's my guy.
Well, the one thing I'm not doing is telling anybody to drop out. What I've said from the beginning, and I have not wavered off of this, is that I want these 3 guys to get into a room, lock the door, and do not come out until you agree on who you're going to coalesce behind.
Never going to happen.
One guy.
Never going to happen. Not going to happen. You got a better chance of the leader of Hamas coming to Kingsborough this week and buying you lunch.
Yeah, you're right. I know that, but that's what I think needs to happen.
I know, but we got to stop stop the nonsense. We had a great press conference downstairs here a couple of weeks ago. It was great. John Katsimatidis, the judge, Governor David Patterson. They're looking for like this magic. It's not happening. Nobody's dropping out. I'm the guy that's been sitting with Curtis. I'm the guy that sat with Cuomo 2 days ago. Adams ain't dropping out. He's the incumbent. Mamdani's not dropping out. He's winning. No one's dropping out. So let's stop with it would be great. It doesn't matter what would be great. It's not happening. The percentage chance is 0, and it will still be 0 after Labor Day. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right.
No, I'm 100% right. No, I'm not. I'm 100% right. So instead of, well, he really can't win and what would be really great, let's deal with what's realistic. 5 guys are running. 5. Pick the guy you want to save this city and vote. That's it.
Yeah, I understand your position. I do. I get it.
I know you do. I love you. You're a great guy. I didn't mean to yell at you like that. It is. It's not a great. It's a horrible situation because I am right, not 90% right. I'm 100% right, and Mamdani's probably going to win. With that said,
okay, that's my point.
It is. It doesn't matter, but that's going to be the case anyway. So go vote for the guy you think is the best candidate, Curtis Sliwa. That's it. That's it. Or don't.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I don't feel good about this. It's like you said, horrible situation, horrible choice. It really is very sad that this is where we are.
Or the other choice is if somebody can pay me $10 or $15 million and I'll run for mayor and I'll fix the whole damn city and I'll fight with everybody. That's all.
Well, one of the problems is that all 3 guys are on the ballot. So even if they do coalesce, which I know won't happen, you're right. Even if they do, they're still on the ballot. And there's so many stupid people that don't pay attention to what's going on, and they're going to vote for someone who's, there's no coalition behind them.
True.
People are just going to do what's on the ballot. So who knows? Who knows?
It's a mess. I have to go. Good Shabbos. Oh, you are observant, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Yes, I love you. You're doing a great job. I've known you for years. Like you said, 10 years ago, you did send me that message. I still have it. But I love when I see you on Fox News, you come on this show, you're always great. I really do. I love it, man, because you've been a fighter for so many years, not just for me, for Brooklyn, for Jews, for the CUNY system. These are all very important things. So God bless you. Good Shabbos. I'll talk to you soon.
Same to you, my brother.
My man. Well. Take care. Jeff Lax, right there, the great professor, CUNY, Kingsborough Community College. We'll go to Noam with the news.